Visit our friends from this place here, Greenland Homes. Greenland Homes, again, have some great ideas for how to get over and get into a domicile, so to speak, in a most unique fashion and a way you can really enjoy yourself.
Absolutely, especially if you're a first-time home buyer and you're wondering about the lending process. They're here to make everything as simple as possible, so very excited to have Tammy Heckart joining us, realtor who represents Greenland Homes from Remax Concepts. Thank you for being here. And then Dave Lewis, HomeServices Lending. So Dave, we want to start with you, especially for talking about financing and what that means, especially if you're a home buyer, obviously, but a first-time home buyer. What does that look like right now?
We just saw some of the rates recently, and they are still way low, aren't they?
Way low. Historic lows still right now. The big thing we're talking about now is that oftentimes people think they need 20% down to buy a house. That's an old wives' tale. A lot of people think that, but it's just not true.
That went away years ago.
Years ago, yeah. So you can actually get into a house depending on where you want to live for no money down or as little as like 3% down.
Is that smart to do if you're getting into a huge buy like a house? Is that reasonable for people to do something like that?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, especially here, you can't speak for the whole United States, but here in Iowa, it makes perfect sense to do that. There's other programs that we can even offer that help with down payment assistance.
Yeah, like what are some of those programs?
Yeah, so like through Iowa Finance Authority, which is part of the Iowa government, if I can talk, they will gift you or grant you $2,500 for free or $5,000 at 0% towards that down payment.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
I never heard about that one.
Yeah. So, and there's actually another program depending on income limits. You can get another $2,500 from the Fed for free. So you could have up to $7,500 in grants towards a down payment, which is more than you would need on an average, let's say, $2,000 to $250 house.
Oh, so that would get you over that hump that some people are really concerned about.
Yeah, exactly.
And get you into the home buying mode.
Correct.
Which is really important, isn't it?
Absolutely. And so with Greenland and some of the products that they offer, your payment actually would be less than a comparable rent for that same 3-bedroom, 2-bath house that you would have to pay for rent.
Wow,
you pay less than actual payment.
Why wouldn't you do it? That's the big question.
That's the big question, yeah. So some people think my credit's too poor, but we can help with that as well, right? So we can help you structure your credit so we can get that score up where it needs to be to qualify.
Okay, and how do you answer this? Some people say, well, I'm only going to live here. I don't plan on being here for more than 5 years. Why would I invest and try to get involved with a home? Why would that make sense?
So right now in Iowa, typically our appreciation is around 4% a year. So that means that your home's going to appreciate as time goes on, which is going to be worth more money than what you bought it for. And so in 5 years' time, you will actually make money in owning versus renting, and we can actually work up a calculator that will compare what your rent is versus what your payment would be and what you could sell it for in 5 years.
You can show them some hard numbers, which might open their eyes.
Absolutely.
That is brilliant.
Make a difference. And it sounds like there's a lot of tools out there to help you out, especially ones that you guys provide and offer. But can you give me a real-life scenario of something like this when it comes to financing being a home buyer?
So last month I actually closed a loan for a customer that purchased a house, their first home, for $210,000. Their rent was $1,500. We got them into a house. Their house payment was $1,400. They actually had $500 out of their pocket into the deal. That's it.
way.
So they saved $100 a month.
That's it? $500?
Yep. And then in addition to that, we signed them up for a program that we offer where they get up to $2,000 a year back as a tax credit from the federal on their federal tax return. So they're actually making money every month, every year back on their taxes, plus their house payment's $100 less than their rent.
So that's $1,200 a year savings plus that $2,000 deal that you just got done talking about. That really makes sense to get into a home rather than giving somebody else money to pay their mortgage.
Exactly, you got it. 100%.
Okay, so you can make money by buying a home.
Yes, that's the point.
I like the sound of that.
But we know there's some other costs that are involved as well when you're buying a home. Can you talk a little bit about that?
We do. We have, if you use our preferred lender, all the closing costs are covered by the builder.
Wow.
So that's the main expense when you're buying a home is closing costs. So those are covered when you use our preferred lender with Greenland Homes.
So even those you don't have to worry about?
So even those you don't have to worry about.
Wow.
So,
now, what are those typically? Because
when
when you say the closing costs, if someone has never purchased a home before, they don't have any idea what kind of money we're talking here.
I would say depending on the lender, they're probably about $1,800 to $2,700.
That's a significant amount of money.
Right. So we have our preferred lender package, and Greenland Home picks up that fee for those buyers that use him.
And oftentimes people think using a realtor costs money, but as a buyer it costs you nothing to use a realtor.
Okay.
And it's smart to use it.
You have to realize that too, right?
You think of those little extra costs that add up, but you're saying, no, we're taking care of all of that, so you don't have to worry about that.
On the buyer's side, there's nothing for using a realtor.
Right.
Wow. Okay, so do you think it's because we're hearing from our parents about what it means to buy a home that we're still in that mindset? And I'm even there. I'm like, no, I'm renting because it's the easier way to go. And you're saying, no, those are things of the past that we need to address this morning so people know that they can get into a great home.
So that is 100% accurate. So usually the first person young people talk to is their parents.
Absolutely.
And their parents are stuck in the 70s and 80s and early early 90s.
Right.
And
When
it's
Jimmy
just,
Carter was in office, I paid 14%.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
hear that.
Absolutely.
You hear that.
You do. I
You
need
hear that.
my first house was 20% down. I
Yeah.
had 14%. Well, it's just not where we're at. Like you said, rates are below 4% for most people.
Yeah, I was just at an establishment yesterday, and they were in the threes.
Yeah.
Which is mind blowing.
Yeah,
absolutely,
right.
mind
Absolutely.
blowing
It's
when
crazy.
you consider this. Now, are we talking townhomes here? What are we talking mainly?
We have all different types of homes. We have our lowest priced homes, townhomes, starting in the 170s. We also have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage house at 179.9. So I mean, we have options for everybody.
What areas of the city are we talking about?
We are all over the metro. Greenland Homes is building in Altoona, Bondurant, Ankeny, Grimes, Granger, Adel.
All the hot
Waukee,
spots that are
all the hot spots.
blowing up right now in an
So-
amazing way. Okay, so if you've been looking at your dream home, and we encourage you to go to the website because you might see your dream home there
Yes.
and be like, how can I get in it? Dave, you're saying it's pretty darn easy.
It is. Most people disqualify themselves before they actually call an expert. So
True.
Just
They're like, oh, I can't afford that.
I can't. They all my credits, but I can't do it.
So
No,
what does somebody
just call?
What does somebody need to gather before they call you when they come to visit you? Or
Just a phone call.
Just a phone call.
Let's start with that, and then from there we'll kind of simplify it down to what I actually need from there. But just a phone call. Maybe takes 5 minutes.
Okay, and how long of a process once we get this initial conversation going to when the person that calls you is in the position to say, okay, let's go start looking at houses?
Could be as quick as 20 minutes. It could take as long as maybe a day or two.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, so somebody can get a hold of you today, and by this weekend start
Buy a
scouting
house.
for some
Yep.
buildings. Okay, that sounds like a plan.
That's pretty quick. And Tammy, as you said, there's some amazing opportunities out there.
We
for
have
homes.
incredible prices, great product. We have our 2-year warranty. We have tax abatement areas, which will also help with discounted
All right.
home payments.
Okay,
yeah.
stop right there. I know we have a little bit of time left here, just a couple seconds here, but tell me about 2-year warranty. I like the sound of that.
Greenland Homes a few years ago rolled out their 2-year warranty, so it gives you peace of mind. It shows you that they're passionate and they're going to be around town for a while, and it just gives you a good deal when you're buying a new home.
And it covers anything construction-wise in the home?
Anything new construction with Greenland Homes.
Wow. There's some of the warranty there too. That is
That's
very
pretty
cool.
incredible.
I love the sound of that.
Yeah.
And again, peace of mind. I think
Right.
that's what you have to worry about, because you say you're buying a home. Now, what happens if something goes wrong?
Well, every home has maintenance that you
Right.
need to keep up on, but the big items are going to have a full 2-year warranty.
That is
so.
great. All right, we need to get more information on
Yeah.
this. How do we get more information?
GreenlandHomesIowa.com.
Okay, some great advice this morning. Thank you both for being
thank you.
here. But learn for yourself. Get that phone call started. You might find your new home by this weekend.
All right, it is 20.